Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to this joint ELA and Cedefop webinar. Thank you for joining. So I will shortly explain the agenda for today and share some information on how to actively participate in this webinar. So first of all, after this introduction, my name is Gian Claudio. I'm part of the EURES Training Provider team. After my introduction, there is going to be a brief introduction by Mr. Jürgen Siebel, Executive Director of Cedefop, followed by Cosmin Boiangiu, Executive Director of ELA. After these two introductions, we will have a practical presentation of the EURES Portal Labor Market Information section by Jakub Kostolny, EURES Data Analysis Officer, followed by a Q&A session. So if you have any question, you can ask. We will continue with Vladimir Kvetan from Cedefop with a practical presentation of the job vacancies insights, and Pier-Paolo Angelini, also from Cedefop, with a practical presentation of the STAS tool on skills anticipation, followed by a Q&A session. And we will wrap up and close the meeting by 11. So for any question, you can write directly in the chat. I see already it's storming with good mornings. And if you're not able to comment, I will paste now a link for a separate channel to ask a question. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Siebel for his introduction.
Yes, thank you so much, and good morning from my side to everyone, and welcome to this joint ELA and Cedefop webinar about labor market intelligence tools. Labor market intelligence, or as we like to call it, skills intelligence, is actually Cedefop's core business. For about 20 years, we've been developing skills intelligence for the EU to inform education and training policy. In fact, we have a whole portfolio of skills intelligence tools, all of them pan-European, and this includes skills forecasts, skills surveys, foresight, statistics, and much more. And if you're interested, of course, visit our web portal and click on the online tools and you'll find it all there. But today, we will zoom in on skills intelligence based on online job advertisements collected from the internet. This data is unique data because it helps us see skills needs and trends in occupations almost in real time and by EU member state, by region or sector. The level of detail that we have is unprecedented and it cannot be achieved by other means such as statistics or surveys. You can, of course, browse this real-time skills intelligence via Cedefop's Skills Ovate platform. And there you can see which jobs and skills are trending and which types of jobs and skills are declining in demand. We also display the impact, for instance, of the green and digital transition in user-friendly dashboards that are powered by millions of these online job ads. And from the start, with this work, we also wanted to build a community of EU institutions and agencies to build on strengths and to develop synergies. So Skills Ovate, for instance, uses ESCO as an overarching taxonomy for skills. And we have joint ventured with Eurostat to ensure the best possible quality of the output data. We have also welcomed EURES to the family. I mean, that's actually why we're here today in this joint session, because we opened up the Cedefop Eurostat data infrastructure, the analytical capacity, and the data presentation platform to analyze and present EURES data and to inform the work of public employment services. The cooperation with ELA, in this case, is a win-win for everyone because EURES presents an unprecedented source of information about jobs in member states curated by EURES partners, and Cedefop uses that information to improve our data analysis. And in return, we offer EURES more detailed information on skills needs, and we can signal areas of improvement. And of course, sharing infrastructure always saves resources. And in this webinar today, we'll learn about Cedefop's Skills of 8 and ELA's labor market information. We will also share practical insights from Cedefop's most recent skills intelligence tool, STAS or STAS, which stands for Short-Term Skills Anticipation System. And this was actually just released a few months ago. So enough food for thought and discussion, a lively one, I hope, for today. And with that, I hand over to Cosmin and wish you all a productive and insightful webinar. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Jürgen. And also let me welcome from my side participants to this joint webinar of ELA and Cedefop. And also heartfelt thanks to you, Jürgen, for your warm words and also for the excellent cooperation established between the European Labour Authority and Cedefop over the past years. So as you many are aware, ELA took over the role of the European Coordination Office of EURES in mid-2021. And keeping in mind the long history of EURES, we have taken this role as ECHO very seriously, as we recognize it as an important part and even the core element of ELA activities. The principle of freedom of movement remains one of the greatest achievements of the EU, and also it's one of the most tangible rights for European citizens. And EURES has been a key facilitator of this principle for more than 30 years. During the anniversary years last year in 2024, this has been shown through the numerous activities the network has realized. And freedom of movement is a win-win situation for both workers and citizens, but also employers when applied correctly. And this is the role of ELA and of EURES and of ECHO to make sure that this principle is done in a way that is fair, that it's correct, and that it's a win-win situation for everybody. And also, very importantly, it contributes to the effective functioning of the labor market, European labor market, and enhances the competitiveness of the European economy and the European internal market. And this was also shown and highlighted in the reports of Mario Draghi on competitiveness and also of Enrico Letta on the future of the single market. Today, you will receive a practical and hands-on presentation of the new format of the EURES portal section. And we would greatly appreciate your feedback as we view this revamp as just a first step with many further improvements to follow. Simultaneously, we aim to capitalize on the information captured in the 4 million EURES vacancies. These vacancies have the advantage of reflecting real-time employer demand and are always up to date. We therefore have been very pleased with the effective and very pleasant cooperation with our sister agency, with Cedefop. They share their expertise and experience with us to jointly develop the innovative tool on the portal called Job Vacancies Insights. We expect this joint tool to be useful for EURES advisors in the first place, but also to job seekers, employers, and policymakers, and also to social partners. It provides information on current demands in the European labor market in an easy-to-use format. And before I give the floor to my colleagues who will present this section and the tool, I would like once again to thank Cedefop for their cooperation and tremendous support, and I look forward to our future cooperation. Thank you so much, and wish you a very productive day.
Thank you very much to Mr. Siebel and Mr. Boiangiu for this introduction. So I will give the floor now to Jakub and his presentation, a practical presentation of the EURES portal labor market information section. So please, Jakub.
Thank you very much, and good morning to everybody. I will start sharing my screen immediately. So as said already, this will be a very hands-on practical presentation of the updated labor market information section on the EURES portal. You can find this information by going into Living and Working and clicking on the labor market information. To give you just a brief introduction, compared to the past, we have now updated the entire structure of this labor market information section. Now it contains comparable data for each country. And on top of that, there are new interactive charts and graphs, which help both the job seekers and employers getting the context out of the information. And it has been also created using novel ways. So first of all, we are using automatization to by using several statements to if conditions and statements to create the statistical information from Eurostat to generate the text that is displayed there. But on top of that, we have very valuable source of information in our national coordination officers and offices, which provided us with a lot of qualitative contextual information at the regional level. So there are more than 200 regions included in here, and this information can't be simply grasped by the statistics. What the NCOs have provided us with is the why do we use the job portals? There are trends explained and challenges on the labor markets, and yeah, there is all the context that is needed to understand the labor markets and the regions. So let me go into the first example, Austria. So the new page, this is the visual. We start each country profile with the national level, where we provide information, the context. So how big is the economy in terms of GDP? There is always a comparison between the country, so Austria against the EU, to provide the comparison. We talk about the employment rate or unemployment rate. Here, as I mentioned, there are the interactive charts available, and we also talk about the proportion of the economically active population by the country of origin or country of birth. The interesting thing is that we have it here in numbers. That you can see the number inside, but the proportion is displayed on the chart. The same for the number of enterprises and persons employed by sector, meaning which showing how big the sectors are in each respective in the country. For each of these charts, there is a contextual information, which is, as I already said, generated using automatization and provided here. Let me go on to the next section. I will just showcase that at the top of the page, each country profile is divided into 4 main sections. So there is labor market, which I just showed. Then there is vacancies, wages, and trends. You can also navigate to these sections here. So let me go on to the vacancies. We provide the latest 2024 data on the labor market mismatch or labor market shortages and surpluses. This is coming from the forthcoming 2024 report. We again display a number of information regarding job vacancy rate or job vacancy rate by sector coming from Eurostat. One valuable insight is the information coming from the national coordination offices. It is the widely used job portals, which can be very useful for any job seekers trying to find jobs in a country, because it gives a selection of both public or private most widely used portals in the country. Going on to the wages, we talk about the minimum wage. In Austria, there is no statutory minimum wage, but it relies on collective bargaining. Therefore, we have a reference to the OECD ICT-WSS database, and we talk about the estimate of the monthly average and net earnings, which could be also useful for any job seeker trying to learn about the economy of the country. Going on into the next section, trends. This is a qualitative section which provides more information on the possible trends and key challenges that each economy is facing. So there is narrative text about a wide range of topics, ranging from workers with disabilities, out-migration, platform work, remote work, or aging workforce. So you will find this in the section here. Maybe just to highlight that the incidence of remote work is again provided in a table here. And now moving on to the last section, it is the regional section. There is a navigation pane on the left-hand side of the page where all the regions are highlighted, so you can move there. For the region, again, the information is coming from two different sources. On the one hand, it is statistical information which provides a context coming from Eurostat, and then there is more in-depth information coming from our national experts or national offices. So that's the first thing. The first part is the characteristics of the region, but then we talk about the vacancies. So our colleagues have provided us with the information on the vacancy shortages and surpluses for each of these regions, which again could be useful for anyone looking for jobs in these countries, because this is coming directly from the public employment services. So as I said, this information is available for all the regions in a country, and maybe let me just show another example. I can take Slovakia as my country. The information, as I stated, the power of it is that it is comparable. While in the past it wasn't always the case. Now you can basically go into one country and you always get the context in a comparable fashion like in the other country, always with a reference to the EU27. And at the regional level, we always provide the reference is the region against the entire country. So you can see how the region is doing economically, in a sense that you could see whether the unemployment or employment rate are high, or the GDP per capita or the purchasing power parities are always shown in comparison. Lastly, just to highlight, we have now a new addition. Liechtenstein wasn't added in the previous version of these country profiles. Now there is, although a very brief introduction on the labor market, it is now available coming from the national statistics, as it's not part of the Eurostat data. And that's where I would finish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jakub. So now we leave a minute to the audience to ask questions. So we just wait a little bit, as we might have a little delay from the live streaming. So I just remind to the audience that it is possible to ask a question both in the chat here on YouTube, or using the link that you will find in the pinned message, always in the chat. So let's see. I can see a question. I see. So I read it to you. This is very exciting. How are contribution added to trends page, the script in brackets like descriptive reports, and how frequently is national labor data fed into this?
So the trends section is, of course, it's partially subjective because this is coming from our national coordination offices, but these are experts who can describe the trends and challenges and have the knowledge to do this. And regarding the updates, we aim for a yearly update, but since we used automatization for the Eurostat data, we are able to basically using the script and click of one button, although it's not as simple to update the Eurostat data, and then we have to do send the questionnaire to our NCO colleagues. But in general, to reply, we aim for a yearly update of these pages. And also there are translations available. At the moment, they are being translated. So the pages were published in English, but they will be all available in the national language, French, German, and English. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So the next question, would it also show the wage differences in EU countries and region in the country?
At the regional level, such information is very scarce, and I would say it's not available really. Among countries, of course, we can see the differences in the earnings. So you can there is always the difference between the specific country and the EU. So yes, that's possible.
Thank you. So again, here we have so how often will you update the data? So again, that was, you said yearly, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then the next question is part of the information about the countries provided by the NCO?
Exactly, yes. So actually a large part of it, except for all basically the Eurostat data and the contextualization or the narrative text is coming from, let's say, centralized by us, the script and the contractor, while the entire trend section, parts of the regional sections, as well as the widely used portals, they're all coming from the NCOs. Yes.
Thank you very much. So I see also in the other chat, do you take into account online data from job portals in each country?
We only publish the widely used portals, so there is no kind of, that is the other presentation taking advantage of the online vacancies data, but this is let's say a beginning of a process of improving these pages, so more updates to come.
Thank you. So here we have a comment and a question. So the update is great. However, it apparently lacks comparative information. For example, the cost of living related to an harmonized pool of widely consumed goods. Are you planning to add such data?
Maybe here just to state, the EURES portal contains two sites. One is the labor market information, which really focuses on characterizing the labor market. But then there is the living and working conditions section, where the update is, I think, to the best of my knowledge, ongoing. And this is the part where I would look for such information, such as cost of living.
Thank you very much. So many questions. So actually, would it be possible to compare several countries, not just between one single country and EU27?
That would be really nice, but we also have technical limitations on the side of the portal, where this would have to be an external development, let's say. So for the moment, this is not possible. And of course, the perspective we are providing is the national country against the EU level, or the region against the country. Comparing countries for now is not possible, but we'll be exploring ways on whether this should be added and how.
Thank you very much. So I see other questions here. So would like to ask if there will be a map that is created from this data. It would be easy to see from the European map that where is surplus and shortages in different parts.
Yes, that is slightly a different question. This is part of the shortages and surpluses report 2024. And we are currently working on the update of this interactive dashboard, which will be able to match the shortages and surpluses. A new version should be publicly available in April, and there will be another, let's say, internal version for the EURES network available already next week, which will enable matching the surpluses and shortages.
Great, thank you very much. Then we have a question related to what about the Scala women and men and other DEI related topics?
So we touch upon this in the employment rate, for instance, where we have different breakdowns. We have the male, female, youth, for instance, and I mean, this really depends on the availability of the statistics. Of course, there is a huge amount of possibilities on how to display the data because we are comparing the country and the EU. We limited the amount, but this is available for the employment rate.
Thank you very much. So I check also the other charts. So we see data from 2023 and we are in 2025. So situation changes rapidly. So is there any chance to have quarterly reviews?
Again, with the quarterly reviews, this is more complicated because of the data availability. Also, we are doing a number of quality checks and quality controls. So that is a challenge. Of course, we could explore ways with our script on providing this at the quarter level. But for the moment, it's only at the annual level, and we'll be adding 2024 soon. The problem is that there is a lag in the Eurostat data that is usually published.
Thank you very much. So here I see another question about again comparative tables, but that it was already answered. So
maybe here I can add
sure.
that actually the structure of the text is the same across two different countries. So basically any user can, if they're interested, see the country profile of Austria and Italy or any other country, and the text will be comparable. So this is still possible in such a way.
Thank you. So in the meantime, I also informed the audience that I pasted the link about the interactive map. So let's continue with so salary section. Does the salary data only come from the OECD database you mentioned on minimum wages for each country? Or do you take salary data from job vacancies and other sources?
Oh no, to clarify, Austria does not have a statutory minimum wage, but in countries, for instance, such as Belgium, there is a statutory minimum wage set. So we take this data actually from Eurostat, and for the estimates of the average gross and net earnings, we are again using the Eurostat data, where we are transforming this into a monthly payment.
Thank you. So then we have another question. So here, job vacancies are displayed by sector for qualification developers, data by occupations, an example ESCO classification, would be particularly useful. Have you considered preparing such statistics in the future?
Yes, we are exploring all the options. Currently, the data we are collecting for the shortages and surpluses report is coming from the ISCO taxonomy, and that is actually also how the member states are collecting this data. So we are kind of dependent on the data that is provided to us. So for the moment, we don't have this information at ESCO level, and I don't think it exists.
Thank you very much. And we have a last one. So what are the criteria for determining whether a job is a fair job?
I mean, this section does not give, let's say, subjective views on whether the jobs are fair. Of course, there are many criteria regarding the working conditions, wages, job quality, which could define such concept. But I would say it's not our role, and definitely not the role of this section to define what a fair job is. So we aim to give an overview and to provide kind of objective information and objective criteria.
Thank you. In the meantime, I also pasted another link, so also to answer to this concept of fair mobility. So there you can find more information. So I just check if there is any other missing question that we didn't answer. No, I think these were all the questions. All right, so I think we can end this part. So your presentation, Jakub. Thank you very much for your presentation and for answering all these questions. So this is a good thing that this generates so much interest. And I would like to continue with the following presentation. So Vladimir Kvetan from Cedefop presenting a practical presentation of the job vacancies insight.
Good morning from my side. First of all, let me start my presentation. I hope everything works well now, and you see the final big window, not the presenter one. So I would and just one small thing, and so. Thank you for inviting me to this event, and most of all, thank you for being able to cooperate with ELA for the last 2 years on developing this project, this output. Because first of all, I really enjoyed it from the professional side, because I'm about all my research career I was working with on skills intelligence and labor market insights. Last 15 years, I'm working on this at Cedefop. I was working on developing skills forecast, and after the last 10 years, I'm working on the job advertisement or job vacancies data. So for me, it was very nice opportunity to work on the with Ella colleagues on the professional side, but also on a personal side. I found in Ella lots of great people that we share the views and goals. So it was really pleasant working with them. What I would like to today to guide you through is why basically Cedefop landed on the works on the job advertisement some 10 years ago, how we are doing the data analysis, and basically, and at the end, mainly what is the main output of this endeavor. So, as Jürgen said, Cedefop started skills in development of building skills intelligence tool some 20 years ago, and we started with the development of forecasts, of surveys, and we were still trying to grasp individual skills which are required by the employers, but relying on the official data which were produced by Eurostat and other agencies, we could get only to a certain level. So we were usually using proxies for skills in terms of occupational qualification levels. And we call this part conventional skills intelligence, which is very good to give us the structured data and then very robust view on the phenomena. On the other hand, with the advancement of cloud computing and big data techniques, and of course, the labor market moved from newspapers to internet. We are developing so-called big data or real-time powered skills intelligence, where we are trying to discover patterns and in unstructured data. And here, this allows us to complement this robust data with more granular and very timely data, because we know that the labor market is changing pretty fast these days. So we are able to produce data very quickly. Currently, we have already finalized the analysis of the 2024 data. So and what I will be presenting you today are the really fresh data which were uploaded 2-3 days ago, covering this part. So before I go to the analysis, we always need to understand what we are working with, what is our object of interest, what is our basis for research, and we understand vacancy as a free place at the company. So company has a free chair or piece of machine that that post needs to be filled. So they are using various HR technique or HR strategies to attract the best talents. Of course, some easy and simple way is just to post this announcement somewhere offline, like either in newspapers or just banner in the window or something like that. But very often, currently, the data are advertised through internet. And there again, the people at the HR are deciding if they are going to let's say a private portal, if they go to public employment service, and so EURES. So we need to understand that when looking at the data, we need to understand what is at the beginning and what is the motivation of the employer to advertise data through these channels. But of course, internet is always subject of internet is open source, and we have always some errors and sometimes ghost vacancies that we need to deal with. So again, with EURES, it's very important for us to have a good overview real labor market, because the connection between vacancy and EURES is much more straightforward, with limited noise, and it also gives us a very good opportunity to balance the data from other portals as well. So how we are doing that? First of all, we are developing something that we call landscaping exercise. So we go directly to the countries and we look at the most important portals. We look how fragmented the labor market is, because in some countries the public employment service serves as a central hub for all job advertisement or vacancies. In some countries, public employment service is one of the many disaggregated portals. So once we identify the number of sources, we are downloading the data. Then there is a process of cleaning data, because we are removing duplicates. We are removing noise and other elements that we don't want. And once the data are clear, we go to information extraction, and basically from each job advertisement or job vacancy, we are trying to extract, first of all, job title, and this is classified through International Standard Classification of Occupation, ISCO, to detailed four-digit occupations. We are extracting place of work, and here we have data available at NUTS 3 regions. We are extracting the sector and of course skills and some other elements, and then these data are available through our online platform, and recently through EURES platform. But also we are getting for research purposes data for researchers, so they are available also for researchers. And in between, we are doing lots of maintenance and lots of improvements of data. So those who are following us along the time, the quality of the data as we have now is in our view far better than we had some years ago, because we are always looking at the data and trying to improve classifiers and individual levels of skills. And what is great on this work, and why I like working on this, that there is huge stakeholder cooperation, and I would like to use this opportunity to thank two people from ESCO Secretariat, because they provide us with great input in terms of taxonomy and classification. Of course, colleagues from Eurostat, that we are working on this on a regular basis, and without them, it would be hardly possible to develop the data. Of course, people, if there is someone in the audience from NSI's, National Statistical Institutes, it's also great. Thanks for great support, and of course, European Labour Authority and the people dealing with EURES portal. It's very good cooperation. So we see that this community is really huge, and it's great to work with. So this was the end of my let's say background presentation, and I will now move to the practical presentation. As it was said, we have two gates to the same analysis, and those QR codes will lead you either to EURES Job Vacancy Insight or directly to Cedefop site. So I will just use this opportunity to navigate to the let's go through EURES. So as you can see, Job Vacancy Insights consists of series of dashboards where the EURES data are, you can navigate through the EURES data. And if we go further, we get to Cedefop Skills Overt portal with some introduction and some data which are coming from all platforms, including the digital and green skills. But this is for some other presentation. What is important for today is the part on the EURES job vacancy insights. And here we have 5 dashboards. The first one, EURES countries and occupations. You can see counts and shares of the job vacancies across countries. So you have the map, and you can see from which countries the most job vacancies are posted on EURES. Currently, it's France and Germany apparently, but you can navigate through each country. So then we have EURES job vacancies by occupations macro group, which are technically 1-digit ISCO. So we have professionals up to elementary occupations. And then we have more granular data on 2-digit ISCO. So as you can see, the navigation works in the way that you click on the country and you see that, for instance, from France, EURES job vacancies, the most were posted for associate professionals. Then we have professionals, but also some managers, and this is pretty straightforward. And as you can see, data are the data span is between 1st January up to 31st December 2024, because we are getting data on a daily basis from EURES into our data production system. And here on this side, you can see 2-digit occupations in terms of their size, and of course these are the color coded. So basically, if we go to, let's say, elementary workers or associate professionals, which are in sort of red color, we can see that these are the subgroups of associate professionals, and for instance, we can see that office associate professionals from this group are we have the most vacancies from this. The next dashboard tells you about demand for occupations, and here we have more granular data from the other sides. So you can pick the occupation. For better navigation, we have 2nd and 3rd-digit ISCO. For instance, we can go, I don't know, let's pick construction workers. If we go to construction workers, we can see that already the map is changing colors and shades of blue. So we can pick that occupation, and basically painters and we can see the distribution of job vacancies for this specific occupation in the last year. So we can see that, for instance, Poland has pretty high demand. There is something from Switzerland, and if you want directly, we can even go closer to the country and see how country performs. The next, the 3rd dashboard is looking more at the sectors, occupations, and countries. So as we can see, the biggest employer in this case are administrative and support services and manufacturing. So if we go, for instance, if we pick the manufacturing sector, we have all the occupations which are demanded from organization that belongs to this sector. So we can see that the highest demand is for metal machinery workers, metal machine and plant operators, technical laborers. So basically, we can then navigate through the occupations and see the changes for demand in the EURES countries. So we are covering all EURES countries, including Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and when we go to the sector skills and occupation, this is the part where we can feature already some individual skills. We can again see the first window that helps you to navigate through sectors. So again, let's pick other personal activities. We can see the most demanded occupations for these and occupation titles for these. So let's pick office associate professionals, and here we have two skill dimensions. We have the first level of ESCO hierarchies and the most requested skills for this occupation on the third level of ESCO hierarchy. So you can see very well what skills are required for this particular sector and this occupation, and of course feel free to navigate through that. The final dashboard is providing pretty unique information, because we have currently through EURES portal good information on required experience. So we can also see what type of experience is requested for various occupations. For instance, if we go to sales workers, we can see that we have skills which are required, like we see that digital skills are already highly presented, because having computer literacy is a skill that is, let's say, straightforward and pretty clear across each workplace. And also we have information about experience which is required for individual by employers for individual for this occupation. So we can see that we have between 1 and 2 years, up to 1 year. So the most job advertisements or job vacancies are between 0 to 2 years. So this is occupation where not much experience is required. So again, let me go. This is like quick crash course of to navigate through these job vacancies insights. Feel free to navigate through the website, and if you have any questions, feel free to come back to us, and we will be able to either help you or point you to the additional source of information. So coming from here, so thank you for having me, thank you for attention, and once again, thank you for being able to work on this with the European Labour Authority. Thanks.
Thank you, Vladimir. As we are a little ahead of time, I think we can I can ask a few questions that we already have in the chat, and then leave the floor to Paolo, so we can already answer some questions. So here I have one about how do you incorporate data such as job posts and platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, etc. And also, do you have any view or plan to have a view in the future of user data? How are these platforms being used and by whom?
So basically, if we look, if we are strictly speaking about EURES, then this is more question to EURES colleagues, how they compile their data. So if they contain contain data from big portals or social networks. For our work, when I look at what we are doing, is that at this very moment we believe that although LinkedIn and other, let's say, social networks are important ways to attract candidates, we still believe that the job advertisements which are published through LinkedIn are appearing in the country also somewhere else on other portals. So we believe that if employers are hiring through LinkedIn, this is not the only channel they are doing, and we believe that we are getting the same job advertisement at the same time. On the other hand, it's also important to understand that the main motivation for us is not to get exact count. Like, we just need to understand. Let's say, distribution of job opportunities or job vacancies. And here again, if we miss some source, we believe that the losses of data are not so significant. And also, what is important for us is to understand skills requirement. And we believe that if the job, if the same skills are required by the job vacancy, even if it's posted through a public employment for the occupation, if it's public. We believe that if the job is posted either on public website or private website on LinkedIn, the skills requirements are more or less the same. So we don't. If there is one job, one occupation, the skills dimension is more or less the same. I don't believe that employers that are hiring through LinkedIn are more or less demanding than those who are hiring through public employment service for the same occupation, of course.
Thank you, Vladimir. So we have another 2 or 3 questions. So how or what do you use to aggregate the vacancies, and how do you deal with duplicates? So one job can have amounts of different titles being displayed, even like in a short radius of distance.
Okay, how we do the aggregates? Again, this is more a technical question, and in I think 2 weeks from now, there will be a big publication, big report published on how Cedefop does the work. Of course, the duplication is an important element, and we are understanding 2 types of duplications, which is one is intra-source, which are the duplication of the job advertisements of vacancies within one source, because sometimes sources like to reset the dates and republish vacancies at the same. I don't know. Once a month, they try to refresh all the vacancies if they were not taken out. And we have methods to understand, including the text similarities. We have predefined time window where we believe that it's the same job advertisement. So we have methods which are also source dependent. So because we are working with sources, we are trying to understand how frequently they do this readdressing or refreshing of the job ad. So there is a huge toolkit. Feel free to follow our website, and then report will be out pretty soon.
Thank you very much. And then we have the question is the data downloadable, or is there an API?
Data from the dashboards are downloadable. There is, I don't know if I can come back to the dashboards. I don't know if you still see that. Each dashboard is equipped with lots of functionalities, like you can pick even two occupations using Control or Shift. So it's pretty straightforward and user friendly. And at the end, you can either share the output through various forms, like getting a picture or PDF, or even directly put it to the PDF. But also you can download the data, you can download image, and also some cross tabulation, Tableau workbook, PowerPoint, PDF, and data, of course, in the form of CSV files. So. But this is availability functionality only of the dashboard, so you can get data which are powering the dashboard. If you are interested in getting access to the database, which is underneath, which is sort of powering these dashboards, this is also available, but we need to get in touch on a personal basis, and we can. Because the access is organized by Eurostat, but technically everything is possible.
All right, thank you very much. So just one last question before leaving the floor to Pier-Paolo. So what could you tell about the comparability of EURES job vacancies between countries and occupations? An analysis shows that, for example, France and Belgium publish a relative high share.
This is again question to the people from EURES, how they organize their data collection, because we as Cedefop, we are our work is based on the data that we are receiving. We are of course very happy to provide EURES with additional information, and we did it about I don't know, the comparison between occupation structure from EURES data and what we are getting from the all portals in this. So again, this is one thing that we believe that also throughout these discussions and throughout understanding of the quality of data, EURES can develop and bring better information to the citizens, because without, as you said, without ability to compare the data without ability to compare the data and organizing feedback loops, things are like this. But we believe that also through this activity, EURES can improve.
I see Jakub.
Yeah, can I step in?
Sure.
Without being directly involved in the work with the data currently, but maybe just to clarify, so EURES basically receives all the job vacancy data from its members and partners. There are more than 300 of these, and it also receives all the public employment services job vacancy data in addition to the members and partners. So basically, this is the source. What the member states and the members and partners are providing.
Thank you very much, Jakub, for writing this. So I would leave the floor now to Pier-Paolo, that will give a practical presentation of the STAS tool on skills anticipation. So over to you.
Thank you, Gian Claudio, and thank you everyone for your interest in our presentation. Would also like to thank Vlad and Jakub for their presentation. I hope my presentation will be their level. It will keep the bar high. So I'm sharing my screen. Gian Claudio, please feel free to interrupt me if anything is not working, because I will be in the presentation bubble. Okay. You can see it, it's full screen. Okay, perfect. So yeah, as Gian Claudio anticipated, it's a practical presentation of the STAS tool, which is a system for short-term anticipation of skills trends. It's a very recent new entry in Cedefop's existing suite of skills intelligence and anticipation tool, and it somehow complements Cedefop long-standing activities on mid to long-term skills forecasting. Quick overview of the presentation. I will share some very brief methodological insights on how the tool functions on the, let's say, what's in the black box. We will go through practical presentations. We will discuss the latest key insights that we got from the December 2024 update of the short-term projections of employment, and I will share a couple of considerations on the way forward. Now, the STAS makes use of EU labor force survey quarterly and annual data, and EU job vacancy survey data. It covers employment trends at EU level by member state and ISCO with 1-digit and 2-digit level of granularity. The horizon of the projections on employment is up to 2 years ahead of the latest available data. Now, you may be aware that the latest available data are not today's data. Data from the ULFS and the job vacancy survey come with a certain delay of at least 6 months. So the STAS having this short time horizon starting from the past, let's say, somehow produces projections on employment by member state and ISCO about what's happening now, which is nowcasting, and what is going to happen in the next year, which is the, let's say, anticipation forecasting component. It's updated every 6 months, and it is the country totals on employment are aligned with the totals forecasted by DG ECFIN's AMECO, which are released every 6 months in spring and autumn. So after we get the AMECO release, we also update the STAS projections by aligning the country totals on employment. A very quick bit of information about the black box of the STAS. It relies on a purely statistical approach, combining three techniques: ARIMA, VAR, VCM, and the naive forecast. Then, if you're interested to go more into details in the technicalities, there is a methodology paper in the web page of the tool, and you can feel free to reach out also by email in case you wish to discuss more into the details the methodology. So I'm moving to the practical presentation. Okay. Gian Claudio, can you confirm you can see the web page? Okay, perfect. So this is Cedefop's homepage. You go to online tools. Here we have the STAS tool right below the skills of 8 tool. We click on it and we access the STAS web page. We have an overview, some lines about presenting the tool. We have some highlights from the latest projections on top 5 growing occupations in terms of employment growth, and the bottom 5 occupations. And we have a map of the European member states displaying employment change in percentage point for at aggregate level. Then we want to go more into details, and we have depending on the focus we want to adopt, we can browse data focusing either on occupations or countries. We can start with occupation, and what is displayed by default is employment change in percentage growth for occupation at ISCO 1-digit level. This is here we see the data from the December 2024 update, which nowcasted data for 2024 and forecasted data for 2025. Next update will take place in May, June this year, and will update the nowcasting at this stage for 2025 and produce a projection for 2026. So you can browse the data according to different visualization solutions. We have lollipops, we have this kind of time series, we have heat grids, and we also have a combined overview where we plot the employment projections in absolute numbers against the forecasted employment change in percentage growth. So we have here this outlier, which is professionals, meaning that it's positioned here because employment in absolute numbers is high, and at the same time it is expected to grow more than the other ISCO 1 level occupations. On the opposite side, we have skilled agricultural and fishery workers, where we see a negative trend compared also to lower occupational levels. We also have present employment change in absolute numbers, and then you can select just some specific occupations and compare them. We want to see them at EU27 level, or we want to, we are only interested in Germany, so the visualization changes accordingly, or we want to go more into details at ISCO level 2 for Latvia, let's say. So the visualization is expanded as we have about 40 occupations, and again here we have the combined overview. We want to shift the focus to countries. Data are the same, but are just presented in a different way, again by default at ISCO 1-digit level, where we can select just let's say 3 occupational groups, and we see for all the country we have this cross-country comparison visualization to see how they are doing, how employment is growing or decreasing, considering these 3 occupations, or we do clear all, and this is aggregate for all the occupations. The other visualization solutions are the same. Again, we have this combined overview. This time, given that the focus is on countries, it plots the employment rate for the countries against the forecasted anticipated employment growth. Now back to the PowerPoint presentation, just to share one more piece of information. Okay, you can see it again, I guess. Okay, here are some key trends from the December update, and we see that digitalization and technological advancements is driving job growth in the short term, as well as a short-term expansion in human-centered services is appreciated. In contrast, automation is leading to reduction to routine and repetitive tasks, and also low skills manual occupation are showing a decreasing trends, whereas according to, let's say, EU level cross-country evidence, retail sales and retail occupations maintain stability. Last slide, what's the way forward? It's of course ongoing methodological development and refinement of the tool, which is a never-ending process, but it's also coordination with Cedefop skills forecast, which produces which forecasts data on demand and employment with a time horizon of 10-15 years. The objective is to coordinate, to create, let's say, a coordinated set of tools for short to mid-long term forecasting. It's also augmenting depth and granularity of the STAS projections using OGA's data. As Vlad mentioned earlier during his presentation, big data powered skills intelligence has the real added value to augment and to enhance traditional skills intelligence. And also, as an expert, I would see as a very promising avenue enhancing the robustness and the informational soundness of the STAS projections, also with other relevant data sources, EURES, for instance. And yeah, that's all from my side, and I'm happy to discuss following your input and questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pier-Paolo. So I check for questions. So let's see. So a question that may be for you, but also for Vladimir. So have you considered whether this data has practical operational value, or is it mostly for presentation reporting in the form of estimates?
You want to go first, Vlad?
I don't necessarily understand what is the difference between presentation and real value, because like working on these topics for some years, we believe that it has value for sure, also for the end users. However, it is very important that end user understands the object, basically the type of information we are providing. So, in my view, looking at aggregates of the job advertisement, it is very important tool in my view for people working with I don't know, public employment, more like people working with public employment service or guidance and counseling and these. So let's say somewhere in the middle. But of course, the data are like that, and if the end user keeps in mind and acquires understanding of the object that it's not always one-to-one with vacancy, because we know that it's just part of free positions for a particular occupation, given the processes, then it can be also useful for final user. Yeah.
Yeah, if I may complement, I mean, these data are not only for, let's say, vernissage purposes, they are intended to have a practical value. Of course, I mean, speaking for the STAS, the tool alone has a not so robust practical value. I think that the real added value stays in the integration and in the synergies among different tools. Recently, we had a presentation of the STAS, and the core of the presentation was a panel discussion with guests, with speakers from DG Employment, from ELA, and from the International Labour Organization. The focus of the panel discussions was exactly on the policy relevance of skills intelligence and skills anticipation tools. So yeah, the STAS can work as an early warning system, but the STAS can also be a relevant building block for practical policy making, for informing social partners' actions when combined with also with other sources of relevant information. Yes, Vlad.
Yeah, and I would maybe continue with that when deciding on the labor market or some policy advice or career prospect, I think this is pretty long-term decision. So what is important to understand is the full toolkit which is out there, including the type of presentation and the information which was presented by Jakub. So basically, this is why we are talking about skills intelligence. That your source of, at the end of the day, you shouldn't rely on one source of information. It's like reading a newspaper. Ideally, is to read it from the left to right. So it's important really not to understand pros and cons of individual tools, of individual type of data, or individual let's say element, and then create a picture. So again, like I would strongly recommend to and also Cedefop has long experience in blending this information, and you can also see various, as Pier-Paolo was showing, the entry to the STAS was through the lots of tools. So again, one of the tools is also skills intelligence, where this information is provided in more blended blended way.
Thank you. So as we are running out of time, I think we have like a last question. So could you please say a few words about the VAR VECM component?
Yeah, okay, I can share again the presentation. Here we are. So it models sectoral demands as the relationship between employment and vacancies, including their past values. This is, let's say, the most complete component of the tool because it's able to model also the data coming from the EU job vacancy survey. It is based on a methodology which was initially developed in the academia. There is a paper by Lovaglio published in 2022. You can find the reference in the methodological section of the tool. What happens with the VAR VCM? That for some countries, some occupation, due to very low data reliability, is not applicable, but it's methodologically speaking, it's the, let's say, most significant component of the STAS approach. And yeah, it relies on the assumption that vacancies predict short-term employment trends.
Thank you very much. All right, I don't see any other questions, so we can head to the conclusion of this webinar. So I would like to thank a lot our speakers today. So thank you, Jakub, Vladimir, and Pier-Paolo for your precious contributions. I thank also the audience for participating so actively with questions, and I see you in the next webinar. I will share with you a link in the chat for the evaluation of this webinar, so this helps us improving every time, and I wish you a nice day. Thank you all.
Thank you.